Well, it's a miracle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually able to go live for potentially an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll see.
Why, the new baby?
So, well, the new baby's not the problem. It's Strong Baby. He's the one that is like crawling everywhere, opening cabinets, crying. Like he's a freaking pain in the you know what. So his grandparents are actually watching him right now. So we're good.
Nice.
Sweet.
Newborns just lay around and do nothing.
Well, that's what babies should do. But no, we'll start off with Joseph Carlson's portfolio.
Let's go hard.
Uh-oh.
Hear him up, Jay. I want to hear this. I saw you just made a video about him.
I'll repeat myself because we were talking backstage. I don't see the point of his portfolio. I'm not seeing the point of what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're like, I got all these different stocks that because he probably started buying them in 2020 that are overvalued. So it's like I don't think his portfolio is terrible. It's just when are you buying and why are you doing this?
Well, what is Joseph Carlson's background? Like, is he?
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Yeah, who is that guy?
Fabio knows. He goes hard in the paint on him.
I go hard on the.
He's actually best friends with Fabio.
Yeah, no.
Fabio knows.
Fabio's in the paint. Joseph Carlin's trying to grab a bound. Fabio's grabbing it and coming down with the elbows.
I mean, I didn't know much, but like my subscribers said that he watched the one video I did on him because then it like inspired him to do a valuation on all of his stocks. Yeah, he's a web developer, and then he kind of just got into stocks. So I wouldn't call him like I kind of defended him in the video where I said I don't consider him a fraud.
No.
Because some people would, you see, like I think you and I would be in agreement on that. So some people went as far as to say that he was. I think if we call him a fraud, we're going to lose the true meaning of what fraudster is.
Yeah,
I don't think he is one.
He's not defrauding anybody. I just don't think he's.
Yeah.
And it's just my opinion. I just don't think he's making good financial decisions.
Yes.
When you're telling me you're dollar cost averaging into Apple and Microsoft right now, what you're telling me is you don't care about valuation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as far as calling him a fraud, why? Because he has a Patreon that he charges $10 a month to.
Well,
to me, I look at that and I'm like, I mean, the Daily Wire or any of these streaming services charge about $10. If you like the guy's personality, fine.
Jay, I have to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
This is a reference to Elon Musk blatantly doing market manipulation and getting away with it. I mean, he got a fine, but still. Thank you very much, Lars. And I saw your comment. I'll respond to that at some point.
No, I just like I think Fabio is right. I think if you were calling that dude a fraud, you're missing the meaning of the word.
Yeah.
He's just a guy who I don't agree with his stock picks, and I don't know why he makes them, and he charges $10 a month on Patreon.
Well, is he holding himself out as like an expert stock picker? Or is he just a guy that's like, hey, I like to pick stocks, and you can watch it, me do it?
That's what he is.
Yeah, that's more of what he is. That's why when I did the video on him, I wasn't really a dick about it because I was like, okay, I just agree with you. But I mean, like when you compare what that dude's doing versus somebody like, Meat Grift or, Lafufu, it's not even remotely in the same category.
Mm-hmm. Are you insulting my stepbrother, Jay?
Yes.
So I'm going to say this about his course. He has a lot of content. It's not that bad. It's not like hell. There's actually some stuff I disagree with, and I'm going to make videos about it. But I think he still charges way too much for the course, personally.
Yeah, it's $500. You're not going to find any 800.
No, it's more than that. Isn't it like 800?
Oh,
is it 800?
Oh, I think we're losing your mic.
Yeah, echoes. It's happening.
Oh God, not again.
You have echoes.
You have echoes. Echo.
Try to
not working.
Again.
Not working.
What did you do? Are you trying to sabotage this stream?
Oh, that sucks.
How much is Meet Kevin paying you?
Dude, he's not having any more Meet Kevin hate on this live stream.
No, you can hit on Meet Kevin all you want. I mean, his course is not that like he does have a lot of accurate stuff in there. Even the tax portion's okay, but it's not worth the money, basically.
Well, it's like Ryan Scribner.
We're getting echoes now. We're literally getting echoes.
Something's going on with the audio. It's annoying. But no, I mean, even like Ryan Scribner's course, I crap on him for it. It was $297. I bought it because I was like, all right, 80, or it was like $90. And I'm like, okay, I can justify that to see what's in it. His course does contain some decent information, but what it amounts to is he sold a poorly constructed PowerPoint slide that would get you a C+ in Finance 101 for $300. That's what he did. And it's like with
still echoing.
For $300. That's what he did.
You can hear Jay like.
But it's like with meat grift. I'm sure there's some information in there that's decent, but again, it goes to what is he possibly teaching you in there that you couldn't learn spending $50 on Amazon on used books?
Yeah, and he's also he has a very he's a bias. I mean, obviously, he's a bias towards real estate. So there's actually some things in there that I really disagree with that I'll talk about. But I mean, overall, if he charged like $100, $150, I mean, that would be a lot more reasonable because he did put a lot of effort into it. There's a ton of information in there, but it is mostly like basic level stuff, I guess. But if you're new to the stock market and finance, it's probably like mind blowing. But most of it's pretty basic if you went to college and learned that stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Meat grift wouldn't really get me calling him meat grift that bad if his course was $100 or $50. If his course was $50, I would just keep my mouth shut. I probably would have bought it to see what was in it, but it's like I go back to this all the time. What are you getting here? Really, honestly, what are you getting in there that isn't in here? Or I don't know, this book.
Oh, guys, I made a dedicated video talking about my book, and I got like one sale. Come on. I don't have a course. You guys need to buy my freaking book so I can make money, okay? So I can
you guys hear me now?
Face one day when I make thousands.
Yeah, it's a lot better, dude. There's no echo.
Okay, cool. Strongman, did Kevin give you access to the Discord too, or just the course?
He gave me access to the Discord. I don't have the freaking time to go in there. But I mean, I'll check it out.
That would be even more fun. You should definitely go into Discord, please. That would be great.
What if he bans me though? What if I step out of bounds?
Just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just look and don't say anything. Just look at his buy and sell alerts. His buy and sell alerts
that's where it gets sketchy.
You need to know.
That's where it gets sketchy is the buy and sell alerts. It's like, dude, you should
buy and sell alerts will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Screw yeah. But no, I mean, it is what it is, dude. I mean, it's like it becomes just a price point thing. Like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard is, Jeremy, pay me $20,000 to teach you how to buy unprofitable stocks.
We all agree that Jeremy is a clown and a grifter, so we know he's the worst of the worst. Wasn't the SEC like you investigating him or something? Like that's how you know.
This is what makes me mad about Jeremy, though, on top of his garbage advice. At least Kevin possesses some level of charisma.
Yes.
If Jeremy was a D&D character, he would have gotten a 3 in charisma, which is the lowest possible charisma rating you can get.
Funny enough, speaking of D&D, I actually picked up this fantasy book. I got it for free. It's called The Chronicles of Drizzt. And apparently it's like D&D. It's like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. Like, I actually do like fantasy, so I am reading about D&D lore. Just as
I'm not making any judgment call on Dungeons and Dragons. I was a kid of the 80s that used to play Dungeons and Dragons when he was a kid, but I'm just making the specific point that Jeremy lacks any and all charisma, and yet he has 750,000 subscribers.
Well, once you get big enough, you just have so much inertia. You just keep growing and growing and growing as long as you post content. It's a cycle. The bigger you get,
and the algorithm helps you too.
Yeah. And all the like shock faces help too. Yeah.
Well, that I've noticed, like, none of my videos are in his feed anymore.
He probably paid off YouTube. He sabotaged you.
Dude. Well, here's the thing. Like a month or two ago, a whole bunch of people were commenting on my Chris Sane video from like last July. And it was like top in my feed. Then one day, it was getting the most views. One day, no views, and I didn't pick up any subs for like 3 weeks.
The algorithm's weird, man. This is a great comment, by the way. But like, I made this video about Edward Jones, and I remember when I did it, I got like 9 views. And then out of nowhere, I check it like 2 months later. It has like 6,000 views, and I got like 50 or 60 subs. And it had a crappy thumbnail and whatever. But for some reason, the algorithm picked it up. And if you search Edward Jones, I think my video is the first one that pops up. It's pretty freaking hilarious. Hope I don't.
Well, dude, I was in shock that Peter Lynch snippet that I uploaded got 100,000 views.
Dude, if you had been monetized, woo!
Oh boy, I would have made so much money that month that it would have been nothing but Peter Lynch videos.
Dude, I ripped you off. I did the exact same title, the exact same thumbnail, the exact same video, and I got like 300 views.
Oh my
I was like,
God,
why don't I get
really
100,000 views?
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that video. That was when we pretty much both first started. You started before me. And I put that video up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's getting so many views. I never thought like YouTube was that easy. I was just surprised that this one video got so many.
What's the secret sauce, Jay? We need to know.
Yeah, you went nuts. You really, wow.
I want that 100K money like those big time YouTubers get. Make one video, you get like $5,000 or something crazy like that.
I have no idea why the algorithm picked up that video. The algorithm gods just blessed me on that. I have no idea what I did.
Yeah, and it always sucks when you're not monetized and you have this. It's like I did a video about who's that clown that made the million token? Tech Lead.
Yeah.
That video got like 15,000 views, and I wasn't monetized at the time, so I didn't get a freaking cent from it.
Dang.
Yeah, Tech Lead. What's million token trading at these days?
2,000, something like that. It's got to be like $5. Let's see. It's even trading at all. Million token.
Looks like it's like $3.49 here. Am I looking at the right thing?
Sometimes it's hard to tell because there's so many stupid copycat. I think it is. It's like you see this massive pump and dump at the very far left, and then it just drops precipitously, and then it's like $3 now.
Yeah, I remember when we were crapping on that like a year ago. There were so many people commenting in my section saying, like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is the next token. And I'm like, why? Because a YouTuber made a token?
Sorry. Look at Lars's comment.
I was watching that. Lars, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any experience. I'm just an uneducated YouTuber giving his opinion.
Has
that's
BP said
YouTube fashion.
Has he said the exact same thing to you?
Huh?
BP? Has BP actually commented that exact same thing before to you?
Has he?
Has he? I'm asking. Like,
oh no. I haven't heard from BP in a long time. I think he's kind of gotten bored of me.
That's usually the BP. BP's still on my live streams every single time.
Yeah, he left me alone too. He used to comment on every single video.
He's on mine.
He got bored of me.
Well, what's he say to you, Fabio?
No, now he's like, now in the last one, he was nice. He was completely nice. He's actually starting to ask me questions about stocks. And I was just like, what is going on? Yeah, the last time he was asking me about some REITs, and then he started to just stop and legitimately started asking questions. And I was like, okay, fine. But he went a little AWOL with echoes. Okay, you went a little AWOL.
Also, that can't be Mike Stathis because Mike Stathis knows everything. So it's got to be somebody else.
He was the one who used to say like something like that. And then in one of my live streams, I think one of the first one, he said, you should talk to Mike Stathis. You should have him come on and talk to him. And I was like, no.
Look, I tried to debate Mike Stathis, but apparently my email was unprofessional. I called him like all sorts of fascist names. So
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Oh, my hat. You guys are great, strongman. You remind me of Graham with your more conservative. Okay, first of all, my investments are not conservative. I'm 100% stocks. Kevin, in my opinion, is more aggressive. He's a gambler. He's not aggressive. He's out of control. More risk, more reward. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's not how that works when you're buying massively overpriced companies and it's 95% of your portfolio.
Yeah, this recent market has changed the concept of aggressive from 100% stocks, which is highly aggressive, to YOLOing into meme stocks. Like that's not aggressive. That's clownery. It's a big difference.
Dude, when I went to the gym today, I had a conversation with some younger guys who were just trying to convince me that I was wrong about crypto again.
Oh my God. Not again.
Oh, you're old, dude.
And of course,
we need a response to this comment.
I don't
know.
I hate his bad
Bill Rodriguez
at all.
You're having mic issues, Echoes.
Again?
You sound like really faint. Like you're talking to me across the truck stop.
Right now, still?
Yeah.
All right.
What if we were just messing with him the entire time? Hey, man, your mic's jacked up.
we should.
The next time Cole comes on, we should do that to him.
But he's gonna see that. He's gonna see that you just said that. We should have
Well, Cole is kind of a fanboy of me, so he probably just watches all my freaking videos all the way through. Like most people aren't gonna watch this entire live stream. Cole probably.
Can you hear me now?
It's still a little bad.
Yeah, you're getting fuzzy. You know how you got that with old TVs, you get that fuzz sound when there's nothing on
static. Now
it sounds like.
I mean, we can hear you. It's just coming in like rainy.
It only happens on StreamYard. It's so crazy.
Try leaving and coming back. That might fix it.
Okay.
So is this guy Gil Rodriguez? He doesn't like echoes.
Apparently not. I recommend the biotech as the most undervalued sector to get into. I don't like biotechs. They're usually massively unprofitable and they're super volatile.
The problem with biotechs is, do you understand the product? I always go over this. Like, how well do you actually understand the science that these companies are talking about? Because, I mean, I don't have an education in that. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm just responding. You can keep talking. I'm just responding to this comment.
No, all I'm saying is the problem with biotech is the same thing that everybody was talking about bio-nano like a year ago, and they'd spout out a bunch of
Is this the real millennial money?
I hope it is really millennial money. It's probably not.
Oh my God.
But
where's
okay.
My super chat, bitch?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, the problem with biotech is, everybody was sitting around. I use this example all the time. Last year talking about bio-nano going, and they're going to do this. They have this experimental technology.
Let me go look at the millennial. I don't think that's them.
I don't believe it's actually
Stephen typing that right now.
What if it was LaFufu sitting there just angry? LaFufu, are you angry at us because Tattooed Chef sucks?
It's definitely on millennial money because look what their most
recent
one. Yeah.
But
it's funny.
Yeah.
Good one. You got us for a second.
No, all I was saying is, like with the biotech stocks, I mean, if you have some sort of background in chemistry or the hard sciences, yeah, but if you don't, I mean, really, what are you buying? You're buying a product you don't really understand.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Wait, there's an echo.
Say something.
Okay, go, dude. Just hit it. We're going.
All right. Well, I wanted to ask everyone about that show that you made a video on, Jay Nagy, and then switch it over to Disney stock. Segue it over. What were you?
I can go in on this.
Let's go, and then we're gonna transition to Disney stock. That's where I want to take it.
Yeah. So basically, if you guys didn't listen to the rant, I'll recap it really quick. What I talked about in there was how Disney is putting out terrible products. I was really excited to watch the Book of Boba Fett. I started watching it. It was god awful. I stopped. Obi-Wan was the last one that was going to keep me on the streaming platform, and this is god awful. So I'm done on Disney, and I don't see the point in buying, Disney Plus if you're going to put out like garbage. If you're going to put out garbage programming, why should I pay you? They don't even like the material that they're doing. I have no confidence in their movies. That's why I'm bearish on Disney stock.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Lufufu analysis, Jay.
It is.
Like a part of me all acknowledges that, because I watched the new Obi-Wan show. I thought the writing was, like some scenes were absolutely hilarious, where there's this one scene, and I apologize anyone for spoilers. I'll try to be as vague as possible. There's one scene where Obi-Wan engages into a fight with two groups of combatants. He neutralizes one group. There's no showing him neutralizing the other group, and he just like teleports to the next scene. No explanation of that. There's all these other cuts where they did like this one thing where he's so desperate to get through a wall, and then there's a clear access point just around it. Like you could just walk around the wall. Like if I was in that situation, I'd just go, I'll just walk around the wall. No effort needed to open the door or the wall or whatever. Just walk around the wall. And nothing is really explained. Like these little details here and there that I was just like, wow. If this was any other type of show, I don't think it would be acceptable. But I did like a poll just out of curiosity. And because I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and he said that he doesn't really care. He just wants to see lightsabers. And then when I did the poll, of course, could be skewed because of my audience, but most of my audience seemed to have liked it or said, meh, I just like lightsabers. The minority said they didn't like it, which I found interesting. So I don't know at which point, like we say, okay, well, the average consumer doesn't really care about all those characteristics that you and I maybe care about. Cause I'll say I didn't like it. I agree with you. I didn't like a lot of aspects of it. I think that, I'm going to continue to watch it only just to finish it, just to give it the chance. But then afterwards, I'm kind of done. I didn't even watch The Mandalorian, even though I heard The Mandalorian was good, because I was I fell out of love with Star Wars. I used to be a very big Star Wars fan. And then I kind of just decided, it's stupid. And I'm not going to die on that hill. Disney, you can have your stuff. And I'm not going to spend my money, giving it to Disney for that content. And I agree with you. Like if we actually take a look and remember going back in memory lane, do you remember when Disney put out all those sequel princess movies? Do you remember those? Does anyone remember those? Because they were terrible, and you probably don't remember them.
That's one of my favorite genres. Princess
when they put out what?
All those Disney princess movies, they like, you had Aladdin, right? Which was a hit, all these hits, right? And then you had a bunch of Aladdins. I bet you a lot of people don't know that. You had a bunch of sequels for these Disney princess movies that were hits in the originals, but then they tried to do it again, and there was some sort of creative block that the company had. They actually pivoted the company and they bought Pixar. And then Pixar was absolutely destroying Disney animation in terms of what they were putting out. And so the company pivoted and did an acquisition. Some might be saying that modern Pixar is actually losing its touch. I've been hearing that as well. And it's almost like it slowly is. Or maybe some people might debate that it's happening faster than slower. And then, you kind of get this thing that Disney's famous for, which is eventually just, kind of hurting their IP. But the thing is, will the consumer buy it anyways? Because there's a company I actually asked Echoes this the other day, so what question's coming up. Do you guys like Nintendo?
I did when I was a kid.
But would you do
I
you
like
it
the
now?
old Pokemon.
You like the old Pokemon?
No, so
Well,
okay, here's my rant about Nintendo and Pokemon.
yes.
They're dumbing it down and making it too easy. I remember back in the day, and you maybe have a totally different point. I remember back in the day, you play Pokemon and you'd have to level up one Pokemon at a time. Well, now they have this experience share thing where it just makes the game on autopilot. Like you can just fight one Pokemon. Everything levels up without having to do anything. It's all scripted and easy. It's a freaking joke. That's my rant about Nintendo. But I do like Nintendo stuff.
I go a little farther and maybe harsher than that. I think it's funny, my explanation, but some people might actually take offense for this. So I apologize in advance if you're sensitive to this. But I think people who really enjoy, and I say this to anyone I know who are my friends who like Nintendo, I'll say it to them because as a joke, right? It's kind of funny to say this. But if you're a Nintendo fan, you kind of like to get effed in the butthole. because they seemingly each time almost disappoint in some capacity, but the fans continue to purchase their products. That's a good business, by the way. I mean, come on. Like I pay attention to like the video game markets here and there, and I guess more extensively than I'd say I probably should, but the Pokemon game was the most recent one that was on the Switch, was very highly anticipated game. A lot of people were excited for it. They believed all these features were going to be in the game, and and I think it was also a problem that not all the Pokemon were included, which was expected and shouldn't have been that much of an issue to do that to help to like satisfy the fans. They didn't, and it pissed off the fans, but they still bought it. Because that's my kind of description of the Nintendo fan base. It's like they're the fan base who can kind of stomach purchasing the same game over and over and over and over and over again with minor little changes here and there. And Nintendo basically just prints money, and they can sell consoles with weaker parts, so to speak, than the other competitors, and still kind of get away with it completely and have their own little market, make tons of money. I like that business. And then I think maybe what if Disney is actually becoming that, where they can completely just do whatever it is they want to some extent.
I mean, if people are watching the show and buying
that's
the
insane.
Game, they don't
that's
care.
What I'm saying.
They
exactly.
want to make money. It's a business, And oh, by the way, addressing this comment, Millennial Money, if you send me a $25 super chat, I will leave this room right now and go put a shirt on.
Yeah, Fabio, the problem is, though, in just my opinion of it, is you have the people that are really hardcore into this stuff. Really, no matter what you do, they're going to pay you money.
Yeah.
Problem is when you have garbage writing, the people in the middle, they go, nothing that Disney's putting out is entertaining. Why am I paying them $10 a month?
Yeah, no. But
sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Like, for example, of all the streaming services I use, they're the number one to get cut right now. Like, I never go on Disney Plus. The only time is when my friends are now coming over to see Obi-Wan. Like, they'll come over to see Obi-Wan. We were trying to give it a shot. We were trying to make it a thing every once a week. They come over, we order wings, and we watch some Obi-Wan because we do that with other shows that we kind of get into as a habit. But it's just too... like, we're not enjoying it so far. We're actually all kind of just cringing sometimes at the show itself, which is not in essence good. And then one of my friends who comes over, he's more of a normal avid watcher of Star Wars too. I consider that myself now because I gotta admit I fell out of love with Star Wars. I'm not, you're not going to catch me at the Star Wars.
Bro, the problem is you're destroying the MCU also. And so when I look at that, I go, all right, you guys are going to destroy your cash flow coming in. I mean, it's the garbage writing. It's just Obi-Wan to me looks like a made-for-TV movie from the 1980s.
Yeah.
It looks like you put zero effort into it.
Yeah.
Well, Fabio, so I remember seeing in a video you were mentioning potentially buying the stock. Did watching this show change any thoughts about that?
No, I want to see how things react to this, because if, for example, they showed me that they can be like what I see as Nintendo, like that kind of company that could just do it, and then the average consumer just continuously just buys and consumes and spends, and they can kind of get away with it. It shows me that their moat is much more powerful than I previously anticipated.
They have a great moat because they have their parks. That's not what bothers me. It's just to me, it's just indicative of them not caring anymore. So it becomes to the point where it's like, if I want to watch a show and you don't care about the character and this is a lazy cash grab, why should I buy anything from you in the future? You know, it's not a good thing to just waste somebody's time because you don't care to put in good writing or good production values. It's not like Obi-Wan, you needed to spend a whole bunch of money to make this series. You really didn't. You could have done it cheap and efficiently and made a great show. Instead, they decided to throw in, like, I don't know whether they went to a special needs school and picked people getting off the short bus to write their content, but it's just terribly written. And it's like, you know, Obi-Wan's taking heat, and then Disney wants to come back and yell at the fans for not liking the product. And it's like, okay, I'm done. If I tell you something's not good and then you want to come back at me and being angry that your product sucks, that's on you.
Yep. Well, like, what's going on with their profit margin? Because I've seen, like, you know, obviously before the pandemic, they were pretty profitable. Like, their profit margins were in the high teens and 20s. And then the last, I mean, obviously 2020, I understand why. But in 2021, their profit margin was 3%. Like,
Bro,
you know what's going on with the profitability?
No, I don't know what's going on with that. It's just what I'm seeing on the outside. Honestly, you can get over, you know, that I think Disney's currently overvalued. Disney, you go back 5 or 6 years, was a great company. But what I'm saying is this has nothing to do with the actual fundamentals of the company, what I'm looking at. To me, it just standing back, I go, how long are people going to pay you money to write lazy crap shows?
All right, real quick. We got somebody talking trash and paying me.
Echoes, why do this guy hate you so much? This guy hates you more than Brooklyn Truck Stop hates Chris.
Your mic's not working at all now.
Mic's off.
And the upload speed, I think, is off to the internet.
I think that's the problem. I think
you're having a bad day, man. Are you sure you're connected to, like, do you have like multiple internets? Like, I have multiple networks. Anyway, thanks for the donation, Gil. We will get Echoes working. You just keep sending me super chats until Echoes resolves this problem, okay? Just over and over and over. Bet you my year to date will be better than, oh, man. Woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, Fabio, I don't know if that's what your thoughts were on it, but it's just
no. My only thing is, like, I'm not probably buying Disney stock, but it's just that if the average consumer doesn't think like you and I, and maybe Chris here, because I don't know Chris's opinion on Obi-Wan. You definitely saw Obi-Wan, and look at me in the eyes and tell me you didn't see Obi-Wan.
No, I didn't watch.
No, it. I know you didn't watch Obi-Wan. But I'm gonna ask you guys, Jay Nagy. This is for you. I bet you wish Netflix was the one that bought Lucasfilms.
100%. Because even though Netflix has a bunch of lazy crap in there, I think they probably would have put a bet to put together a better show.
Oh, 100%.
Look, Netflix is the titan of streaming. They just, 100%. I just think they're expensive. The stock is, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, my whole thing with streaming services, and people can disagree with me, I just always looked at it as this is an unnecessary product. And unnecessary products are always the first thing that get cut in bad times. I'm just really not that happy about it. I'm not getting paid, so but like you know, with streaming services, look at where we are now. Gas prices are super high. They're hitting people's budget. People are going to sit down and they're going to go, okay, what streaming service do I want to keep? Whether it be Netflix or Disney, Hulu, there's a finite amount of these streamers that people are going to keep subscribing to.
Oh, no. Thoughts, guys, and then we can address this.
I'll do the roar later, but when you bring it up, but
what were we talking about? Disney? I think
Disney
stock is like, no.
I was talking about streaming services and how it just, if you got in originally on Netflix and you were speculating back in the day, you did well. But at a certain point, I was looking at Netflix and I go, everybody is going to start streaming their products. That's
I have to do it, guys. It's my thing.
I know.
Sorry.
But what I'm saying is, like, back before everybody started streaming, I thought to myself, everybody's going to start doing this. They're not all going to give their product over to Netflix to stream.
It's just going to keep going.
This whole stream is just going to be me dancing and interrupting Jay. I'm sorry. This is just too funny. I'm sorry. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Streaming.
I'm not going back into it. I just spent 5 minutes trying to do it. I'm not going back into it.
Well, I'll close off by saying I think the streaming war right now is probably, from my perspective as a consumer, I enjoy Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery's HBO Max. That's about it. I could not care less really for any of the other ones. Could not care.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. That, like, you have your streaming service. Other people have theirs that they want to buy, but it's not going to go back to the days of cable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Oh.
See, and the funny thing is, all these super chats won't even cover 1 day of expenses for these kids I have now.
Dang, man. Yeah.
Thank you, D. Chapman. Woo! All right.
So Disney, I don't think I'm not going to be getting into Disney. I was contemplating it, but I'm definitely not going to get into Disney. I don't really care for the stock.
What was that stock you bought? Was it Global Payments?
GPN, yeah, Global Payments.
Well, what percent of your portfolio is it?
7.
Woo! I'm gonna look into it. Why did you buy that stock?
So, where do I begin? Well, we got a new super chat, and then I'll get into it. So
another one. Jay just walked away. He's like, done.
Well, okay. So there's I guess a variety of reasons why we can kind of get into global payments. So of the fintech plays, they're part of there's 3 big players. There's Fidelity, Fiserv, and Global Payments, and these are the acquirers. They're part of the acquirers section. So they don't have the credit risk of the issuers. They have Global Payments as a business has a massive amount of focus on that part of the business, not so much on the software side like Fiserv does, which Fiserv actually, funny fact, is actually in a bit of a rut that people don't really appreciate, that their biggest clients are going to be going off of them soon. And I don't think this is private information. I think this is pretty public, but people need to kind of be aware of that. That's why Fiserv might appear on the surface to be cheap on a forward PE basis based off what analysts show, and why it hasn't really moved much. It's because this is a long-term process that has been taking a while.
Fiserv? Like the
Fiserv. Yeah. FISV is the ticker symbol. And they own Clover. So they purchased First Data Corp. So that with that, they got Clover, which is a very popular POS system. And yes, POS system stands for piece of, no, I'm kidding, joking, point of sale system.
More of a PayPal kind of thing or more of a Visa kind of thing?
No. No one's like Visa. So Visa is the network. You could argue it's closer to the PayPal than to Visa. Visa, MasterCard, all these guys, they're the rails of the system. So they're like the plumbing. They're like the actual pipes of how the system kind of operates. They're not getting disrupted. Pipes. Yeah, those are the best businesses. If you could get those somehow at a good price, somehow, those are the best ones to have at the present moment, or at least in the past decade, because for the foreseeable future, it's going to take a long time for them to be disrupted in a meaningful way. For now, those guys are the most entrenched. And it seems like if you're doing anything regarding moving or transferring of funds around, people were speculating that crypto was going to be the big disruptor for those guys. We'll see how that plays out, but Yeah. So those guys, if you've ever seen their margins, you guys would all just like, I don't know, fall head over heels with those margins. They have net margins of 50%. Yeah, net margins. They're never gonna. Yeah. They're like the best in the world. MasterCard and Visa are among, if not the best in the world in margins. So they generate like 20 billion in revenue. They'll come out with 10 billion in net profit.
Fabio, my YouTube channel has high margins.
Well, yeah. That's true. When yeah. But do you have an HR? Exactly. I was going to say, do you have a human resources? Do you have all those things? Imagine all of that, and you're a global company, and you have 50% margins.
Yeah, you're right, man. Holy crap. 51, 50,
yeah.
52.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're never going to get those guys cheap because the whole market recognizes that. And that's why they always perpetually trade at high multiples. And, you know, if you wanted a true inflation hedge, there's Visa and MasterCard because they make percentage income off of the volume that travels through their network. So if the volume increases in terms of dollar amounts, they make more money, right? And they're like the low fee structure. Something like PayPal is actually less moody than something like Visa and MasterCard, way less moody. And people, when they compare those two companies, I know that they, in fact, do not know what it is that they're talking about, especially because the PayPal system actually runs, I think, on either MasterCard or Visa's rails. I forget. It's one of the two.
Not that. I mean, how hard is it to make a freaking app or website that sends money between people? I mean, there's a lot. Things. Facebook Pay, Apple Pay. There's all sorts of crap.
Yeah. There's a lot, and they're the gateway. So the gateways part of the business or the ecosystem is like PayPal, Square. Those guys are all the gateways. You have the acquirers, the gateways, the issuers, the systems, and the ISP banks or whatever the fuck. They're another thing that we don't really care about. But the most important ones are the issuers, the systems, or the actual railway of the finance, which is Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, some Indian one, and some Chinese one that I forget their names.
What's Chinese one?
I don't know if they're even public. They might not even be public, but there is a Chinese one and there is an Indian one. The Indian one is actually hurting MasterCard because India's government is actually putting in policies in place to kind of favor the Indian variant of MasterCard. And MasterCard was actually really big in India. And that was actually a bullish thing for MasterCard. I saw a question. My eyes saw it. It's not Alipay. No. And you can't even own Alipay. Alipay was the one that I always talk about and highlight that, you know, I don't want to trigger anyone. The one that was taken away.
Who do you not want to trigger, Fabio?
Any Alibaba fans. But that, I think that's the name of it. REUU. I forget the name, but investing for your future just said REUU. I think that's the one. But yeah, just kind of simplify it. GPN is part of the acquirers. And so really its competitors are Fiserv itself, which is not a competitor, but it's the three players, and Fidelity. And mostly the rest of the industry is just in the point of consolidation. And in GPN, you actually have they're a serial acquirer. Like they've been acquiring a ton. And the CEO, he has a background in M&A actually a little bit. And he's been doing it for quite some time. Pretty sure he's a banker.
Do they have a lot of goodwill? Let's see.
They do have a lot of goodwill. So they have in total assets off the top of my head, I think about it's a good amount. I think it's like half of the balance sheet is in goodwill. But if you subtract out the goodwill, you still have long-term assets greater than long-term liabilities. So
are you concerned about that? Because like, look what happened to Teladoc.
Not necessarily, because that would be just the nature of them kind of putting in tuck-in acquisitions. What Teladoc was doing is aggressively expanding into industries that they weren't necessarily already operating under. They weren't buying other, telecommunications for doctors. They were buying my stock. They bought my stock, Livongo. Remember? We talked about that the other day. And that was something that competed with, I guess the closest competitor someone can relate to is Dexcom, something that monitors glucose levels. So that's how different is that from their main business? Pretty different, right? And it's not like a tuck-in acquisition like, oh, they already do that in that vicinity of stuff. This is kind of like just an add-on feature that they try to upsell now when they get new clients. But GPN has been doing a lot of those tuck-in acquisitions. So what I've been seeing is they've actually been able to actually realize a lot of synergies, and they've been showing that. So then I kind of extrapolated from that I trusted management's ability to do that.
What's up? How are you guys?
Chat turned political. Someone just
The chat is all political today. I don't understand
What's
why.
happening?
Politics is so lame. Okay?
Oh, I wasn't
Here to
even
make
reading
money.
the chat. I just read someone's comment saying that.
Hey, Echoes, why don't you try your cell phone?
Hey, what's up, Echoes?
Yeah, he's got audio problems.
Alex, I heard you say what's up, pickles.
I have to piss.
I was like,
What's
hey,
up,
what's
guys?
up, pickles?
What's going on, Alex? What are you doing?
His new nickname, man.
How
How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
I'm great. I have been working my ass off on the other channels, so I haven't been very busy on finance. Just keeping my stocks, BT, buying every time I can, and well, nothing's brand new on that side of my life.
Have you gotten
Fabio?
to the VA yet? Have you gotten to the VA yet?
Yeah, I went, but they couldn't give me a date when I was there, close to where I was visiting. So I'm coming back soon. I guess I'll be back in August, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, dude. Let me know on Facebook too if you're having trouble with disability.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk about it there. I'm not going to talk about it too much online, but
yeah, I'll text you, man.
VA disability here.
But yeah, no, I want to know this. I want to know this. I don't know. I don't get why Sven Carlson was attacking index funds, then turns around and makes a video about it's all about dividends. And I'm sitting there going, index funds pay you dividends. You know this. Why are you making this video?
Well, so, okay. If anybody can tell me a good reason why Sven Carlson is right, tell me now. Go.
No.
So, okay. So I think what he's trying to say is, let's say we buy you. Let's kind of take it out of the stock market for a second. Let's go like the old Buffett adage, like buy a stock as if you're going to buy a business. So let's buy a business. All right. What are we going to look for in that business? At the end of the day, when we're, operating in our normal daily lives, we're going to buy this privately held business between the four of us, and we're going to kind of evaluate it at the end of the day at the ability for this business to kind of return to us the cash we need to survive on a day-to-day basis. Let's hypothetically say we start a CPA practice, for example, where we're all four partners, right?
I'm the partner. You guys are my servants.
We're the associates.
Yeah, the associates.
Okay, but Chris, in this scenario, you're going to look at the CPA practice as how much cash flow can it actually return to you as the owner, and this is in the form of the dividend. So I think of it because I can kind of relate to that, because at work when we're looking at a private company, we actually look for, and he kind of I think said that in the video with regards to Berkshire Hathaway's perspective, like. When we look at a privately held company, and let's say we're going to bid it, it's generating, I'm going to make up numbers. It's generating 500,000 in profit at the end of each year. We bid it for whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we care about how much cash can then we take from that company, right? If we buy the whole thing, how much can it contribute to the parent company's bottom line? And that we can then reinvest it elsewhere. And then that's what we really care about. And then the owners of the business, at the end of the day, what they care about is the potential cash flows that the company that they own can distribute to them so they can fund their lives.
But it's too academic. Like, I get the fact that you put money into investment and you get money back. That's what you want, right? Well, how the market actually works is no one cares about, I'm going to buy a company based on what dividend I can get. Because at the end of the day, if a company has a massive retained earnings balance, they can at some point pay you a dividend. That's how the market kind of works now. Like, of course, Berkshire Hathaway, for example, doesn't pay a freaking dividend.
Yes.
Nobody cares because they're highly profitable or whatever.
Wow.
We know they can pay
it. They don't pay a dividend. That's because their dividends are just reinvested.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's called retained earnings.
No, I know. My point with what Sven is saying is you're sitting there saying index funds are okay. You said that in the video. And I get it. A guy like that with an education like that can beat the market, but he doesn't have a normal job. Or like a normal person that works 40 hours a week doesn't have the time to put in the research to get these stocks. But then we go to what you're saying is, it's all about dividends, but yet you're crapping on index funds that pay you a dividend.
Yeah, that's the part.
So that's my point with what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because English is his second or third language. I don't know how many languages he speaks. So I don't know if there was something lost in translation. No. But when I was watching the video and he said that, I'm like, bro, VTI, the S&P 500, they're all paying you dividends. So if you're saying, I've read it different than what he said, I've read that what you can look for is dividends plus about 2% growth plus inflation is going to be your returns. He said it was inflation plus dividends. Why would it matter if you're saying that these dividends are going to give you the return, whether they come from an index fund or an individual stock?
Well, another thing is, think about like Fabio, for example, when you do fundamental analysis of a company, are you looking at cash flows and earnings, or are you looking at dividends?
I'll take a pause there because something just came in.
Oh! Where's my hat?
And the answer is earnings, because as it relates to dividends, it is the potential. You kind of expressed it perfectly, and I wanted to highlight that the retained earnings comment was exactly it, right? We look at the potential for a business. So just because a business doesn't pay dividends, right, doesn't mean it has no value, because if it continuously, quote unquote, compounds and reinvests, it's the eventual potential that I can get capital returns as an owner. Like if I told you, like you're going to invest in this company with me and you're never going to see a penny, right? Then the only way you're going to get value is if you can sell privately held shares. These are not publicly traded stocks, private company. The only way you would get value is if you were to sell your shares to some guy who would say, I'll pay you this amount for your shares. But like let's say I never, ever, ever return any capital to you for whatever reason. Let's ignore the fact you might consider it's a fraud that you invested in or whatever.
Just give me your money, bro.
Yeah.
Fine, just give me your money.
Yeah, exactly. So like you would evaluate that private investment based off of the cash flows I can return to you. You might say as a business owner in this company, you might say, no, Fabio, keep that money now. I don't need it. Invest it and compound the earnings of the business. I'll be like, all right, cool. Yeah, and you're telling me basically there is like, okay, I would rather have the greater potential for future repayment than have my repayment now. So like Google doesn't pay a dividend, but no, I'm not talking about Papa.
No, Papa, no.
Believe it. So like, yeah, exactly. It's the potential. So we'll look at earnings or cash flow yields, and we'll see how that business can generate cash flows, how much into the future, and we'll come up with a valuation for it. But because at the end of the day, we're evaluating its potential to return the cash flows to the parent company.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, nobody gives a crap. As long as a company's profitable and has retained earnings and it has the potential to pay dividends, that's all that matters.
Yes.
But
what
if
I
happens
change the game?
Yeah, what happens if you're a senior citizen?
No.
I know what he's saying is you want to collect dividends, but you're too old.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you don't work anymore. You're 80 or 70 something or 80, and you just need dividends. What happens?
But you don't have to live off dividends. You can liquidate your portfolio.
But if you have a pretty large portfolio that you can live off of dividends.
Well, what you would want 4% rule for your portfolio in that case.
Yeah.
I mean, basically how you would construct my plan is I'm going to have 60% VT roughly, and I'm going to have 40% short-term bonds. And what I'm going to do is the short-term bonds are like my income for the next 10 years, or maybe I'll have like 2 years in cash. or something like that. And I'll literally just draw from the short-term bond portion of my portfolio. That's my income. And I can pick exactly when I get paid and how much I get paid. And I don't have to pay freaking tax necessarily. Whereas the dividends are paid at a certain point in time, and you don't necessarily determine the dividend amount. But I can create a paycheck for myself with my portfolio. I take $5,000 out a month and I transfer it into my freaking checking account. And that's all you have to do. You don't need dividends. Dividends are just like they're random, they're different amounts.
Well, and you bring up a legitimate point. I get what Sven's saying. I'm just saying, I don't know if it was poor communication because what he said about the whole thing doesn't make sense. But if you're getting dividends from an index fund, there's virtually zero chance that you're not going to collect those dividends. But a company might say, hey, sorry, guys, tough times. I'm going to have to cancel that dividend. And if you are in a situation where, which I would recommend you don't get yourself in that situation, but you could find yourself in a situation where you needed the money, but the company's not paying you the dividend now. It was just, to me, it just seemed inconsistent in what he was.
No, he knows what he's doing. What he does is he sells a course or whatever, or valuation, whatever he does. He cannot support index funds or tell you to buy them because he wants to sell his course. It's as simple as that. That's how every financial advisor works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, it becomes a thing. Like if you're a normal person, any of this, you're just best off putting it in low cost index funds.
Yeah.
And that's the stream.
I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about Elon and his chief changing mind? Let me know, because I know what Chris thinks about that.
More plain as day to me as time goes on that this dude is a grifter. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a freaking
when he's sitting there, here's the new one. Oh, well, you're going to have the Optimus robot soon. What? Like,
no.
You're that far ahead of Boston Dynamics? Like, you started making this robot less than a year ago, and you're already ahead of Boston Dynamics that's been doing this for 15 years? Okay.
Do you want exposure to Boston Dynamics?
No.
Oh, I was going to tell you.
Why?
Stock owns
I
them.
want exposure. How do I get exposure?
Hyundai. Hyundai owns them. Buy Hyundai stock.
So you're telling me Boston Dynamics is not publicly traded?
It's publicly traded to Hyundai. They're a subsidiary of Hyundai. They bought them off of Google.
No.
Why did Google sell them? It's my question. I'm just like, no, because maybe there's better out there. I mean, I'll say this. My wife actually used to work for a robotics company, and they had really cool stuff. Won't say the name because she'll get mad at me. But just like I thought like Boston Dynamics, I always knew them from like the videos, and then the robots that they were using or created were actually being used in like warehouses and stuff. So Boston Dynamics is owned by a car company, which is funny because, if Tesla makes the Optimus robot and Hyundai has Boston Dynamics, all it's in the theme, like car companies are just making robots.
Yeah, see, I could see Hyundai making robots because they bought a robot company. Tesla is just Tesla. Like it's like there's nothing there that they could use to make robots. Like it's a huge joke, and I freaking love it. There's so much like entertainment value that I can generate from that.
Google sold them because the robots became too powerful. Yeah. No. I mean, I imagine Google's gonna not invest in that field. I mean, it almost makes sense with, for example, Waymo, where what that kind of technology can actually be utilized for mapping out environments so that you could actually, in theory, have working robots in a vicinity, working or doing some tasks. So that technology is translatable to that. But, I'm like, it was Boston Dynamics. I don't know. Everyone loves Boston Dynamics. They sold it. So
I love Tesla.
I don't know.
Tesla?
What was that?
Is that why you have 4 Teslas?
Yeah. I just bought another one. It's actually 5.
You have 5 Teslas?
There were 2 babies and 2 adults in this house, and I have 5 Teslas.
That's probably the approach. And you said you were going to have 3 kids, so that kid's going to need a Tesla.
Exactly. See, I'm thinking ahead.
Oh yeah, Templar Knight's actually saying it the most accurate one. Yeah, they sold it to SoftBank, who then sold it to Hyundai. Yeah, it's technically more accurate to say it that way. But Hyundai owns it now, so like that's the point. You want exposure to Boston Dynamics if you really want to, Hyundai stock. But the thing is, you get Hyundai with it, which it's a car company, which is a terrible business.
Except for Tesla.
Except for Tesla.
Well, this is I don't know.
Oh my
like
God.
I have a conflicted relationship because I know he's grifting, but sometimes he just cracks me up with the stuff that he does.
Who?
Like when he's arguing with Mike on Twitter, it just cracks me up, dude.
I don't like his humor. There's just something about him that's weird and off.
Because he's got
It's weird.
He's got
Asperger's. Yeah.
He's
a very odd fellow.
Yeah. It's just like the way that everybody turned on him on the left when he's buying Twitter, if that deal ever goes through, it just cracks me up that this whole thing is going on. I'm glad he exists.
It is cool that I do hope he does buy Twitter. I think that's a good thing, at least from my perspective, because I'm right leaning. I don't know if y'all didn't know that or not. Oh my God! But yeah, I mean, like, it'd be cool to go on Twitter and not worry about being censored.
I'm out of here, dude. I can't be friends with somebody who isn't super far left like myself.
Oh, all right.
No, dude. What I'm saying about Elon is, despite all his grifting, he still does things that just crack me up. And it cracks me up that the world loses their mind when he does this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's only the dorks that actually care about politics. I don't give a crap about politics. It's so lame and emotional and sensational. It's stupid. Like, I'd rather focus on, like, getting rich or something.
Well, dude, just keep your hands off my guns and we're all good.
Is a gun a nickname for your schlong?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
well, okay. So I'm gonna email that person to have the Tesla debate. That will be interesting.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a big debate coming up between Fabio and a big YouTuber.
I don't know why they want to debate me on Tesla though.
Who is it, dude? Or can't you say?
Can I say it?
I don't think he cares.
Tom Nash asked to debate me on Tesla.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. I never will say no to a debate, regardless.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I have an idea in my head of how it's going to go, and it's going to be, quick slaughtering. But I do like hearing the Tesla fanboys. Like, I do like hearing what they actually believe is going to happen. It's just, I don't know. What is he going to come at you with on Tesla? I don't understand.
Older than him, number one.
Huh?
He's older than him.
That's a great.
I think he's double my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he has more life
must be right. He's double the right. He's double correct.
Yeah. But there's this video on Dave Ramsey. I won't spoil it, but there's a new guy. He's like this super dork. Excuse me, I'm burping like crazy. He's got like his glasses. He's a total dweeb, and he's one of the co-hosts of Dave Ramsey. And somebody called him about what was the freaking thing about? It was like investing with a financial advisor or not. Or no, it was about paying off your house early. And the person literally gave him a perfect explanation about why you shouldn't pay off your house early. And he's like, well, even though you're 100% right, that makes 100% sense. That's not how it actually works in the real world. It's like, dude, you're such a freaking dweeb. And you're sniffing Dave Ramsey's panties so much that you just can't acknowledge the reality that you're a freaking moron and your boss is a moron. I can't wait to make a video about that. That was a quick aside.
No, I would agree with you. Like I'm kind of not segueing, but continue on that conversation about like real estate and like leverage. Not that this should be copied by anyone. But my wife and I were actually really looking in our area to purchase real estate within the next 6 to 12 months ish, around there. And we're going to use leverage, and we're not going to pay it off. That would be stupid. When you sit down and you do the numbers, you if you get a fixed rate, and a good fixed rate, you never pay that thing off. You just pay. You use the bank's money. You use.
Dude, my rate is 2.89%. And inflation is 8%.
I'm so jealous right now.
It's crazy
right now.
Well, yeah, because rates now have doubled.
I know.
I got in at the perfect time because I'm a genius, Fabio. Remember that.
Basically, what that changes is I'm going to go less leverage and more cash, which is unfortunate because I'm going to have to lock up more.
Yeah.
But
dude, historically, the rates are still good. Like, look at the
I know. Yeah,
40, 50 years. I mean, you're still getting a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basic math. I've heard Dave Ramsey talk about that kind of thing multiple times.
By the way, there will be a Chatterbait exclusive. I'm going to go on Chatterbait dressed just like this, and I'm going to see how much money I can make talking about stocks.
Chatterbait.
Are you going to record
that?
Oh yeah, I'm going to record it. So,
if
it's me, you're not going to see any like schlongs or anything like that.
What is Chatterbait?
Well, then what's my motive?
I was going to ask that.
It's so I can make money, Jay. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, so Chatterbait is this website where you can do like sexual acts on a live cam, and people will potentially donate you money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on there and shirtless in my underpants, and I'm just going to talk about index funds, and I'm going to see how much money I can make.
Chatterbait. I get it.
Chatterbait. You ever been chatterbaiting before?
Like master. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Omegle with but porno.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I'm waiting for Amanda Heard to start her OnlyFans. Amber.
That's gonna come soon.
Yeah, who's Amanda Heard?
Dude, I'm not that on it, but
Elon Musk clapped those cheeks. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
He did. Problem is, she owes $8 million that she can't pay, so she better get busy on OnlyFans.
Well, that's why I'm working so hard on YouTube, so I can bail her out. She's the kind of woman I want,
But she's a lesbian, isn't she?
What?
Amber Heard?
Yeah.
I agree with that statement.
Hillary Duff, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
The only problem with Hillary Duff is she's not taking a dump in people's beds.
Well, I guess if you're into that, I don't know.
Any
you come home.
I'm just trying to get us away from this topic.
I'll throw vodka bottles at you.
Fabio's wife's probably watching right now. She's like, who is he?
She does watch. So. She pops in here and there. She does. She'll be downstairs. She'll just pop in and she'll be like, what's going on?
It's insane how many people watched the trial, man. Hearing
I know, right?
Everybody talk about that. Yeah.
I didn't watch jack shit of that trial. I didn't give a crap about it.
I didn't watch
Everybody was talking about it.
I saw it on Daily Mail, and I would get annoyed every day that this trial got all this attention, but the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, nothing.
Oh yeah,
they tried to make that go away.
Okay. Ghislaine Maxwell is not hot.
I get that, but she ran a cabal of pedos. So,
but is she hot, Jay?
No.
There you go.
Here's a question I actually like. I want to hear your thoughts. Traditional versus Roth IRA.
Depends
I don't care about the Vanguard part, but sure, on Vanguard. But like, I want to know your thoughts on traditional versus.
Well, on Fidelity, the Roth is better, and it depends. Like, are you going to be in? I would do the Roth. You don't know what tax rates are going to be in the future. I mean, I don't know what your tax rate is now, but
on top of that, like with the Roth, if you wanted to, you could just leave your money in there because the taxes are already paid. At 72, you got to start taking your money out of the traditional, and you might be in a bear market at that point, like my parents are. And if they had the Roth, they could have just said, we're not taking any money this year.
What if you do the back door?
Well, then you're converting to a Roth.
Yeah, I know. But like, what if you do it now and you take then you're making a risk of the tax rates in the future. Yeah, you are.
Okay, here's how traditional works. Let's say you have $1 million in a traditional IRA retirement, and you want to pull out $200,000 because for whatever reason you need $200,000. That $200,000 gets stacked onto your income, and it gets taxed at basically the highest tax brackets. You have no flexibility. So you're going to get taxed to death pulling that money out. If you have a Roth, I can pull out $200,000 and I don't pay any taxes at all. So the IRA, the traditional IRA, like really limits you. There's no flexibility there. So it's better just to pay the freaking taxes now, get it done. And then in the future, if you want to pull out $1 million, you don't have to worry about it. If you pull out $1 million from a traditional IRA, you're going to have $1 million of income minimum on your tax return, and you're going to be paying the highest tax rate. I see it all the time. People pull out money in their freaking IRAs, and it increases their tax brackets. I mean, I hate traditional IRAs.
For Paul Harsh, yeah, I would recommend you do the Roth. You want to put your money in there, even if you're not going to max it out.
Financial advice.
Roth is better.
This is financial advice.
Told in my opinion, can't come after me, SEC.
It's my opinion.
My opinion,
Roth's better.
Every year you should be trying to put as much money into your Roth. You max it.
But there is a point at which you can no longer put money into it after a certain income threshold.
Yeah, but you can do like a non-deductible contribution and then, backdoor.
That's what I'm saying.
There's always ways.
Backdoor. There's the back door.
You go in the back door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the one I like, because you can take the deduction now, right? And then hopefully when you do the backdoor conversion, right, the tax rates hopefully haven't changed too much. Maybe you're on a lower tax.
Well, if you do let's say you have $1 million and you want to backdoor it.
Yeah,
you got to pay the tax.
I know. I got to pay the tax one time, right?
Yeah, but that's going to increase that's going to put you in the highest tax bracket. That's why it's generally better to spread out a backdoor conversion, because you're not bumping yourself up into these higher tax brackets.
Oh, I can spread it out. I mean, I'm not at the point where I'm going to do the backdoor, but I actually was going to ask that because you're a tax. I almost said tax lawyer. I was like, you're a tax lawyer. But no, but
I should be charging you for this, Fabio.
Yeah, you should actually. $5,000.
Okay, just don't do if you have a lot of money in a traditional, just don't do it all at once, or at least go talk to a CPA. They can kind of like walk you through it. If you take it all out, it's going to bump you way higher in a higher tax bracket.
I think the only natural progression of this question, so we can grift out a little bit more info out of you, is the Roth 401k. If you have a traditional
same thing as an IRA. I mean, I think you do have RMDs. It's weird. You have RMDs from a Roth 401k. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure you do. But basically, it's the same thing. It's an IRA, but it's a 401k. You can put in $20,500 per year. That's what I used to do when I worked in the government. I maxed that bitch out.
Oh, sounds so nice.
Yeah, I think Amber is going to do a lot of backdoor when she goes to jail.
Oh my God. Wait, but she's not going to jail. Wait, is she going to jail?
If she goes to jail.
Oh, if she goes to jail.
Oh, it's BP! It's butt pussy! Yay!
Are you gonna regale us with tales of the Reichsmarschall?
Reichsmarschall! Jawohl, Herr Reichsmarschall! So I actually got that. There's a video game called Empire Total War. And if you play as like one of the German principalities, all the German characters, they give like their military commands in German. It's pretty fun.
Oh, you play Total War?
I liked Empire Total War, and I like Napoleon Total War.
Huh.
I like rifles and cannons, because they're long and hard. That's my main passion there. Do you already contribute $20,500? I do not, because my current employer doesn't have a 401k.
Dang.
I wish I could, and I would be doing that. I did that last year, and it was beautiful.
Did you might not want to answer this. Do you not want it brought up? Did that thing you were applying for work out for you?
I mean, I don't think my bosses watch my live stream. So yeah, I'm applying for new online jobs, and I actually have I think I'll get 2 offers next week, and then pretty soon I'll be a 100% remote tax accountant.
Yeah.
Boom,
Congratulations.
boom, 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 boom,
I love
boom.
that.
That's actually a pretty sweet gig. Now, can you work when you want to work, or do you have like set hours?
So there's 2 firms.
Here's your projects. This is what we need you to complete in this time frame. Work on it whenever.
It depends on the firm's culture. So one firm I've applied to, they're more relaxed. You know, you get your stuff done, cool. The other one is a little bit more strict, which I mean, I understand why, because it's a fully remote firm. I mean, they have to make sure you're freaking working. But yeah, that's the choices I have. Now, if even if I get offered less money for the more relaxed firm, I'll take it because it's better to give up $5,000 or even $10,000 if you have a better work-life balance. So we'll see what I get next week. I'm just waiting. And then I'll go with which one ever, suits me better. But I am going to be fully remote.
I mean,
Which
also
more YouTube, baby.
Yeah.
I gotta
hit
this comment because Chris talked about it the other day. It's happening to me now. That is not me in the comment section on my channel telling you to contact me on WhatsApp. That's a bot. I don't know how to get rid of it.
Did you guys see the video I made of the?
Yeah.
Dude, everybody's making fun of me because you got a virus, bro. I didn't get a virus, by the way, but it was pretty sketchy, man. Like the guy was texting me. I was like, yeah, I'll give you 100K. He's like, yeah, just send it over, man. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can get 100% returns every 3 days.
Oh my God.
So how much money have you made off that 100K you sent him?
Let's just say I'm retired right now.
I'm retired. Well, Jay Naga, you can actually go on. You have to do this on the computer though, not on your phone. And if you go and you click on the ... you say hide user from channel, it just goes and deletes all that because they'll comment all over the place.
All right, I'll do that. I'll get rid of them. But I noticed that Chris commented on it the other day, and I didn't really have that problem. And then all of a sudden, I start getting all these WhatsApp.
Dude, those bots, like they just pop up and they keep coming back. Like I report them, I block them, and the next day there's like 20 more.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know.
Graham's 5'2" and balding. BPW.
Yeah, I was going to say back to the thing you were saying about working remote. Yeah, it's so valuable because you also have to consider the time you have exactly for your side hustles, right? Because, wow.
Dude,
like
when I was at NASA, oh my God, I had so much time. You would not, I was making a freaking fortune off tutoring and, I mean, like with tax, you actually have to do the work. It's not like, stupid NASA, but you still have way more time and way better work-life balance. So I'm super excited about it.
So I work fully remote, man, and it's great. As you said, you can do a lot of side hustles, a lot of YouTube, and still you need to, complete your task and your goals and your KPIs. But it's way better to work remote for me as a lawyer than to go to the office and do the same thing just at a job site and everybody watching me. Well,
just make sure you don't apply to Tesla, okay?
No, never.
Alex,
now I'm going to be hybrid, which sucks.
Well,
yeah.
The thing
you got to pay your dues, Fabio. You got to pay your dues.
I know. I
got to. Remote is great. That's great. Is you basically eliminate the rat race. So you get basically probably in 2 hours back in your day that you don't have to spend running out of your house and driving to wherever.
Yeah, for me it's 45 minutes to my work site. If I have to go, sometimes I have to go because it's at the airport, and 45 minutes back, and I have to take the highway, and it's risky because highways here in Mexico are not that great. So yeah. So I try to have everything at home. For me as a lawyer, it's pretty easy because I just have to have Word, Excel with Office, an email account, my cell phone, internet, and that's it. If I were a buyer or something else, I don't know, CPA, probably you have to go sometimes. But if I had any other job, maybe it will be more hard for me to work at home. But right now, it's great. But
I mean,
not
with
everyone
accounting,
is
there's no
like,
reason to go in.
yeah, I think it's
There's no
kind of
reason
the
to go.
same.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can just there's nothing that you can't do from home.
Yeah, and I guess it, and I get it that sometimes it's complicated when you have kids because of the noise and the stuff. But right now I don't have, so yeah, probably if
That is a
changes,
downside to remote work. If you got kids and your wife's tired, they're gonna expect you to help them out all the time. Which I don't mind helping. I do that when I'm on break or leave. But when I'm in the middle of work, like I'm working, you know what I'm saying? Like I got to get this crap done. So that's kind of an issue you may run into when you have kids in the house.
Yeah,
my wife
if
now.
If your employer has confidence in you, then it's not a problem. You just have to do your thing. Oh, sorry, I could be
Mark's comment. I work for Homeland Security. I want you
I mean, that's I worked for the government, man. Yeah. It was stupid. It was dumb.
So what you're saying is we should all go work for the government.
If you want to build a YouTube channel and side hustles, go work for the government because you will get paid to not work, and you can just make a fortune.
Or any aerospace company, man, for that matter.
Or you could go work for Tesla.
Yeah, well, to Tesla, your butt's going in 40 hours minimum.
Well, no, it was funny when Elon did that. He goes, "Yeah, if you don't show up to work on Monday, we'll consider you resigned."
Hey, it's Elon Musk here. We're gonna take over the world, but we're cutting jobs. Okay, so yeah, he's such a freaking loser.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm jealous of my wife. Her new job is completely 100%. Well, her previous job was also 100% remote, but I'm jealous now more because, again, yeah.
Trust me, if you ever have kids, Fabi, it's gonna be that is an extra. That is a problem of remote work that causes issues.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know that they were already talking to me that because of the languages I speak, that they actually want me to send me 3 months at a time to different countries, which is nice. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And that'll be interesting how I do YouTube if I'm still.
Wait, you're cool with that? Like leaving your wife and stuff?
No, they can come too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they actually will provide the housing for the 3 months.
Yeah, I used to be married to another person in the Army, and we literally, it was so bad. She went to training, then she finished. Then I went to training, then I finished. Then she deployed, and then she came back. And then I deployed, and then I came back. It was ridiculous.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean
you do.
I only lost half of my net worth. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but dang. I mean, when you were going through those deployments, I mean, how long were you deployed for? 13 months. Huh?
9.
So she deploys for 9 months, then you deploy for 9 months. You haven't seen her in 18 months, dude.
So yeah, we had 2 weeks together, and then so she deployed, came back, 2 weeks together, and then I deployed for 9 months. And then she got back, we had about 9 or 10 months together, and then she went off to her captain's career course. So that was 6 more months, and then she got stationed in Germany. So that was 6 more months, and then I got out of the Army and moved to Germany. So it was freaking crazy how much separation.
Oh, you got out and you moved to Germany?
I mean, I was going to get out anyway, but I was like, okay, I can get out and I can go live in Germany. And that's when I got my financial advisor job. I was a financial advisor serving like military clients over there. So that was briefly my job. And then, of course, we split up and I came back to the States, and that's when I became an accountant. That's my life story.
She's still in?
No, I think she got out. I don't talk to her anymore.
I figured. I just didn't know if you heard anything through the grapevine.
Can I say something to Edmar? Edmar, this most recent comment, I can confirm that is exactly what is happening. I will not say how I know that, but I can confirm.
What did you say, man? Oh, that's why I'm.
Yeah, that I can confirm that this is happening.
Yeah.
Fabio.
Mm-hmm.
Fabio, expand on that because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so without getting into too much detail that again, my wife will not like that, but she's really in tuned with recruiting in the tech world. Okay. And because that's her job. She works at a company. She's worked in tech for a little bit. And so she was the one who told me a while ago about Tesla, these kind of rumors coming out about Tesla. And I didn't make the short that she was pushing me to, because I'm telling her that she should actually make videos about how people to boost their resumes and stuff to get into these kinds of companies. Like I was like, yeah, go do content like that. There's actually like a need that people will actually look at it. College students will look at it. Even high school students who want to eventually get there, they'll look at that stuff. And she was telling me, like literally, I think, just a week ago, that there were rumors up the grapevine that Tesla was going to do something, interesting regarding that. And it's because all these people, they talk to each other. And lo and behold, when this not email leaked, when this thing about, oh, you have to come back to work, she was the one who was telling me he's doing this because it's cheaper to do that so that some people quit. And then there was a spike in applications by Tesla engineers, specifically software engineers, a variety of such, where she's more intertwined with software engineers, right? So with that being said, she noticed that there was a flood of applicants coming out of Tesla, of all places. So, she put two and two together. It's quite obvious. And then I only made the short the day before the announcement that Tesla was going to lay off 10% of its workforce, or speculating that was going to lay off 10% of its workforce, which I thought was like, okay, so that just confirms that she was correct in that assumption. So yes, like Tesla's kind of doing that. What I said to people, and I still maintain these points or opinions, is that it could be a good move. It could also be a bad move, because you don't know who's leaving. You don't know who, because like you might be saying, oh, we'll stick with all the loyal people. But what if some of the not that loyal people are really talented, for example? They're the ones that just want to stay because they're not confident they can get a job elsewhere, right? They're going to stay and they're like, oh, I can't get a job elsewhere. I'm going to stick with Tesla. Sure, I'll come in the office because I need this job, right? The ones that are like probably the ones that know that they can get paid the same or more elsewhere and can maintain a high quality of life, are probably going to be the ones that are going to say, all right, I'm out. So you got to be careful with that. And then the other ones are, they're there to take them, the big boys, at least. Now you're saying, BP, that's not necessarily true about Amazon recruiting, firing people left and right, depending on what part. Amazon is such a big company. You actually learn that there's so many different moving pieces, and all of them almost operate independently of one another. So you got to be very specific when you talk about that. So Amazon letting go of some type of job here and not other job there, that's always strategic shifts that occur within a company. I can say that in the big tech world, like, okay, Facebook, I know, is freezing. There was a whole scandal, by the way, in the recruitment space, because Facebook, these people claimed or said that Facebook rescinded their offer. And that's not actually true. I think the media picked up on that, but it wasn't actually true. What happened was it was a recruiting agency, which is a third-party company. They hired all these people too aggressively, and Facebook never approved it. And then the agency had to rescind the offers themselves. So then it became like big news, and then everyone was saying like, oh, Facebook did this.
Don't they, out in the tech world, a lot of times they'll find a talented engineer, say like Apple or Amazon, whoever. They find a talented software engineer or whatever kind of engineer, and then kind of like just hire that dude so he's not out in a competing company. Like that, I forget what video I was watching, but somebody explained that. They said, a company like Apple have a really talented engineer that they don't want to lose. So they'll just lock that guy up, and he might not be doing anything at work. They just don't want competing against him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. If they have the money and they know that. So I actually had an interesting conversation with someone in semiconductor design. And in a lot of these industries, there are some parts of the world in semiconductor design, because it's not considered sexy, that there's less and less and less people, that you don't necessarily need that individual, but just holding on to that person makes it harder for your competitor to develop a competing product. So you don't need them, and you're more than willing to pay them to stay at your firm than not let them go to somewhere else. So like one example is in the particular part of some semiconductor design with RF design, radio frequency design. It's such a niche field, and there's actually not many. It's slowly actually kind of decreasing in terms of quantity of engineers there, relative to what the industry really needs. And so, yeah, that practice is probably not going to be uncommon. And they're always trying to poach each other, but it can be. I'm giving you an extreme one that if you lose your engineers in that one, it's a little bit more of a problem because that's how nuanced this engineering is. It's so nuanced. It's like, okay, what specifically are we talking about? And then we can say, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's not true. But yeah.
Well,
hey, Fabio, have you read Common Stocks on Common Profits?
I believe I have in the past, but I don't really remember.
Do you remember the rules? One of the rules was that you have to keep your talent people. And
it sounds very familiar.
Yeah. It was, you were saying that exactly. So,
well, I agree with that.
Because it costs a lot to the company to, train another guy, and the layoffs cost money, et cetera, et cetera. So. Yeah.
Well, we gotta talk about this, Fabio. How do you think Sheryl, whatever Sandberg or whatever her name is, the COO of Facebook leaving is going to affect it?
Nothing. Same with the CEO of consumer whatever at Amazon actually resigned this week as well.
Did he?
Yeah, this week. So he is a big deal. He was there since 1999. And he helped he's like the father of the logistics network for Amazon. So, I mean, he didn't make news. I don't know why Sheryl Sandberg makes so much news. I don't know why the media is like all obsessed with.
She's a woman.
Okay. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. My mind is too pure. I just think of people.
The only thing that would worry me about that is Mark Zuckerberg seems a little bit too obsessed with the metaverse. And knowing how technology doesn't really work out how you think it's going to work out, I have concerns about that. I mean, obviously, Facebook is a cash-generating machine right now. I don't buy it only because it's already in the top 10 of my index fund, so I don't really care. But I don't know. That's just what concerns me about Facebook is he just seems way too obsessed with it.
I think he very much should be obsessed with finding something to continue the legacy of Facebook. So that's why, because I want him to develop WhatsApp into what it can be. WhatsApp has so much potential. And I think it's hard sometimes for Americans to kind of grasp it. I started to use WhatsApp a lot more. I was not a user of WhatsApp before being bullish on WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp now a lot to communicate with people within the company. Because it's just like easier to communicate internationally. It's just easier. A lot of international people use it, and I've actually grown like accustomed to it. It's simple, easy to use. I again think that has its own potential that needs to be pushed. Okay, they need to develop that. The metaverse, again, I mean, I don't know what you're probably discussing metaverse. I think the metaverse, for example, is a lot of B2B solutions, but the company is positioning itself in a marketing stance where people think of the metaverse and they think meta. And then that's an advantage that we can't really quantify. But I don't think the metaverse itself is going to be like, oh, Ready Player One. That's what people always think.
That's the one.
Applications.
I don't see that technology. Maybe some sort of nanotechnology in the future could create it. But I just was saying, all right, dude, most of your headsets right now are clunky. Yeah, we know technology gets better and smaller over time, but just I sit there and I go, with your metaverse, we're going to be at work in a meeting like this. I just go, what's that accomplishing that you can't accomplish with Microsoft Teams?
The environment, feeling that you're into it.
I guess. And I could be 100% wrong on it. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think that what Mark Zuckerberg is describing is actually how the metaverse is going to work out. I see it more as in the future, 10 years or so, will probably, instead of phones, have glasses on with some sort of interactive augmented technology.
But think of the plumbing that is going to be necessary to actually transmit that data. So if you're the bedrock, if you're the ecosystem of that, everything can be built upon you. And then that's where the power really lies. So I agree with you. That's where we're moving. But that's like, so we have the internet, which is the internet has basically a very simplistic version of interaction, right? You click, you use your mouse, you kind of click. The next iteration, I don't know how long it will take till we get there, but we can kind of all imagine what it will be kind of like. The next iteration of the internet will be more interactive than the previous, and it will engage us in a different way. But think of all of where the real money is going to be, the business solutions that can come about. How much can you interact with the data now versus 10 years from now? How can that change your ability to make decisions? So they're going to compete. Microsoft's going to make their own. Don't count them out. Obviously, they're seeing this too, and they're going to be investing. So will I get probably Google's going to be in there too. Yeah. Amazon's going to be in there too. Everyone's going to be in there. It's just like
in there.
Look at my portfolio. What am I building around?
So you're building around Facebook and Microsoft?
No, Microsoft's the one that I don't have. And there's a specific reason as to why. It has to do with, actually, I used to have Microsoft back in the day. I sold way too early. But yeah, I sold way too early. But obviously, hindsight, I don't regret it, but well, kind of regret it. Let me be honest. But
because you can go with the information you have at hand. It's like everybody tells me, well, I was buying Tesla in 2018, and I go, okay, so you were buying an unprofitable company. Yeah. At the time, I looked at Tesla. I was like, I'm not seeing it. Then it had this massive run up, and I'm like, okay, it's overvalued.
Still,
Microsoft, I'll tell you, because someone just mentioned it, is more likely to get to that Ready Player One kind of metaverse meme thing, because they bought Activision, right? So if they actually produce a quote unquote metaverse and they have this video game division, it seems almost like a seamless transition. Now, where people need to kind of understand, I think a lot of people who at least I've seen in the comment section on some of my videos, they really understand the value of the cloud going forward, that we're just kind of at the beginning, and all of these companies.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And like, people are so caught up in going towards the Palantirs and C3 AI. Well, let's not put them together, because let me just tell you, I 100% believe Palantir's superior to C3 AI. That's how much I don't like C3 AI. Like, let's not put them in the same category. But regardless, kind of like how all of this is scratching the surface, and you got the big three, right? Don't want to discount anyone. Yeah. Cause we got I'm actually discounting Oracle. So I'm sorry if there's any Oracle fans out there. But Oracle is a big player too. Let me just say that they're just not expanding as quickly as the other ones. And I don't know, like, okay, like that's one thing why I still never divorced Amazon, even though when I took my profits when I did, I never divorced it, because I was just like, dude, AWS, I can't. It's like I love the company that much. But
I mean, it's like this, dude. I mean, I think you can play it one of two ways. If you buy a company that's like, you buy a company at a good price and it becomes overvalued, you can sit on it if you think, you go, what, I think this is a temporary overvaluation, but I like where the company's going.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Amazon, I'm also kind of not going to increase my exposure too much, because of various reasons for diversification that I can get off camera. But the main play that I have, if you actually like kind of see, my portfolio is kind of shifting into this more of connectivity bet, right? So, if you have, like, look at Google again, look at Facebook. Facebook is not that big, right, relative to Google. If you see the position sizing, I'm content where it's at. I think it's at 7%, but Google's like my bigger play. Amazon used to be actually, funnily enough, closer to Google. And could it get there one day? Again, not necessarily my portfolio, but yeah.
So your favorite company is Google?
My favorite company, yeah, by far is Google. But also look at my speculative assets. Like I am still kind of, even in my speculation plays, I kind of play that same theme. Like I say, to be very careful. For me, Zillow, some people think Zillow is a core holding. For me, that's fine. You can make that argument. For me, it's a speculative holding, but think of like the theme there. I'm investing in something that I think is going to be like the potential to be something like the Google of real estate. I use that as a buzzword on purpose, but it's so that people can kind of wrap their heads around what it is I'm kind of projecting. But that's all potential. It's not something that they're showcasing that they're necessarily de facto going to be. So that's why it's a speculation. But it's what I'm highlighting there is the theme. The theme is the same. It's generally a theme. And I have a mixture of, some chemical stocks, some, medical distribution stocks that are performing really good. Insurance.
Dude, honestly, if you can get a chemical company at the right price, you will never go wrong with that. As long as obviously the company's not drowning in debt and the numerous other traps that can be out there. Because it's like, you look at it, no matter how much we advance, you're still going to need chemical companies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yes.
That's why, like, I tell people, they're like, if you could buy, like, what's a good company you would love to buy if you could get it for the right price? Something like 3M.
Yeah.
Their products are just everywhere.
Yeah. I would absolutely agree. Actually, those were a lot of the points I made in the original video on the chemical company that I own, which I chose out of Dow Chemical and LYB. I chose LYB. There's many more, but those are the two big boys. LYB is the British variant. So just think Dow, but British. So I
was looking at Eastman Chemical like a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's another good company too.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, dude, this is a chemical company, man. If I could add this to my portfolio, if I get it for the right price, like that has a place in there for individual stocks.
Well, you'll be jealous because we'll talk about dividends. This year with LYB, I'm going to get paid over 10% because they announced a special dividend. Okay, a special dividend because of the good times they're having now. And so normally, obviously, this is not part of the normal dividend because it's a special dividend. And so in totality, it's going to be about, well, no, technically my yield on cost will be greater than 10% for the year. But for all respects, the current price or the current valuation, it will be close to a 10% dividend.
So Fabio, how do you find the time to manage all of these positions, man? Since, having individual companies or stocks, you need to go back into the fundamentals.
That's a good point, because I actually had this, or I made this point in, when did I make this point? Oh, no. I didn't make this point yet. Well, it hasn't been released yet. So I made this point when I was talking about there's a debate I react to, and this video is going to come out between Ross Gerber and Peter Schiff. And I had to separate into two parts because it's too long. So the first part's 1 hour long because I basically am breaking down their points as they go along, because it's two guys who are kind of operating or talking in two different worlds and debating each other, which is funny. But
wait, Peter Schiff was debating who?
Peter Schiff was debating Ross Gerber.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, from the crux of it, to answer your question, because we're not going to get on a tangent there, is depending on how you get a company, you can make the argument that the amount of raw attention that you must put into that single company depends. So like, let's take a look at Tesla. And actually, I do make this point in the newest Tesla video, because the point was the one that I just posted yesterday was with something like Tesla that's priced to perfection, you have to know everything that it's doing like the back of your hand, because it's priced to perfection. A single kink in execution can destroy the thesis, right? Because it's priced for robots, it's priced for robo taxis.
I think they might miss earnings.
Tell me if that happens
sooner than we actually thought. I mean, think about what the lockdowns in China are doing.
Yeah, exactly. So the I'd get with the when you buy an asset with a massive margin of safety, you can basically allow for some things not to pan out and still come out on top, depending on how big the margin of safety is. An example, because I do have some examples. So one example was an insurance company. I know I might be overusing it at this point, but the thing is, it's a perfect example. Unum, right, was a company that I purchased during the pandemic. And the reason why it was such a great margin of safety was it was priced for bankruptcy for the pandemic absolutely annihilating them, right? Because if the death rate, I think, was of the pandemic was, I think, 2% or 2.5% or greater, there was a high probability of bankruptcy when you kind of analyze the risk profile. And the company itself, the management team, was doing everything. They were covering all their bases. They were basically saying, like, we don't know if we're gonna, like, this is bad, right? They're just saying this is bad. So if they're covering all their bases, like if anything bad were to happen, they told you. On independent analysis, it didn't appear as though it was that risk would manifest. And so had you been buying there, your margin of safety was stupid. Let's just say that. And a lot of things had to go wrong. So then that is a company that I just put it on autopilot. I didn't really, the most thing I paid attention to that stock, to give you an idea of what my attention really went to it, was what's the measured average death rate, right? Is it getting crazy? Are we going to Spanish flu levels, or are we kind of, not that bad? And then so that was the bet, though. That was a monetary bet that I made on it. So you got to understand. So
when you factor in all the screwery with the numbers too, COVID doesn't even approach. It isn't even anywhere near.
No.
Look, in 2020, it was very scandalous to say it. So even if I was making YouTube back then, I wouldn't even talked about this stock. Like I admit to that. I probably would not have talked about that stock whatsoever, because to say something like that at that time was more scandalous than saying it today. Today we have all the data, right? So today we can look back and kind of observe that and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But to say that back then, people were very emotional. Like, I would have easily been canceled. Like, just come out and say, yo, you guys should buy Uno.
I was very careful to call COVID during like all of last year an unknown virus of unspecified origins. That comes from the Critical Drinkers channel, and I ran with it because I was like, I'm not taking any chances that my channel gets burned down, because I'm like, yeah, if you're relatively healthy, it's really not a threat to you.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
And you just get 2 strikes, right? How do you guys do you know how to get the strikes?
Oh, I haven't gotten any strikes yet.
No, me neither, but
Bro, you probably won't in the financial space. I mean, they're not going to give you a strike because you called Lafufu a moron.
No.
So it's the guys that are getting strikes are really the guys that venture in. They either do something stupid like that Ethan Klein guy, or they're just really into politics, and it's something that's politically incorrect at the time. Like Steven Crowder would get strikes for saying, I have a lot of questions. Here's this doctor saying COVID is this, this, and this. Oh, YouTube strike.
Okay. Thanks. Now I get it.
But yeah, I hope that answered the question about paying attention. Like, if you get a stock or a company at a really good margin of safety, it's pretty much, you could argue you don't have to put as much thought into it as much. Like, you don't have to pay attention to it all day, every day. In fact, you probably shouldn't in the first place, by the way. Believe it or not, most of the time I don't look at my stocks. I actually don't even look at the stock market.
Me neither. Right now I'm avoiding it because I have a lot of index funds and super safe. Well, I think they're super safe companies such as
if you
Microsoft.
If you have a good company that you bought, you really only need to check it each quarter.
Yeah. Like most of the companies, I like to think most of the companies I have, I will kind of, there are some that I know I'm going to keep till I'm, rolling in the grave, right? Rolling in the grave, because my offspring will sell them, and then I will hate them for that. But hopefully I teach them well. And there are obviously some stocks that are more transitional, like was the commodity plays. Like the commodity plays, I don't think I'm going to hold those for the rest of my life. Those are like the transitional plays that I might have here and there. But I have some like holdings that I don't ever really put much thought into in terms of like, oh, I'm going to optimize the sell product, because most of the time when you play with the soap, you're going to mess up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a high quality company, don't keep checking it. You're going to drive yourself insane, and you might make a stupid decision. Just every time, when you look at it, just look at the underlying numbers. Like, oh, the stock's down. Oh, the fundamentals look good. Okay, carry on. I'll pay attention to you in 2 more months. Because, I mean, like, that's a mistake I see a lot of new people making is what?
Yeah.
Checking my account 5 times.
They check it. Yeah.
Wow.
Every time.
Do you think you're going to be able to retire in the hour that you haven't checked it?
Oh, yeah.
I just check them when I buy. Whenever I want to buy something, I just go ahead and, if I have BT, there's no chance I'm going to miss. So, but I think.
Yeah. If you're an index fund investor like you and I are, Alex, it's like pointless to really pay attention to the market.
But I know people that do that. They check it out every day of the week because they don't know what they're doing. So I'm just telling them, shift into index funds and you'll be all right. Don't.
Well, dude, today was the first time I logged into my Vanguard account in probably 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
But I guess sophisticated investors like Fabio, they have some plays that are transitional, as he said.
If you have certain companies, like let's say you play a complete speculative play, right? And you go, I'm reading all the articles online. I think there's a lot of hype here. I think there's a possibility this stock could run. And you go, I'm gonna throw $1,000 at it. You better pay attention to it, because if it's just speculation, it could go to zero really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still holding Neo. So
Neo.
Yeah, I got it way back when I was, a rookie. I was a rookie. I didn't know anything. So I watched a stock mo video, and I got like 5 stocks. I still got them. So I'm holding them, I guess.
Dude, I mean, if you didn't put a whole lot of money into NIO,
no,
just let it ride, dude. See what happens. Watch the stock.
Alex, did you sign up for StockMo's Patreon?
Hell no. When he started talking about, Palantir, every time he mentioned Bitcoin and, things like that, I just got fed up from his channel and stopped watching and turned into something else. And thankfully, I got into your channel, and that was it. And everything funny.
Isn't life so much more stress-free now?
Alex, what I'm saying is all the horrible things that we can't mention that StockMo does to Tesla Cat didn't turn you off to stock.
Wait, what?
But he's a teacher that cares, man. So yeah.
What do you think he does, Fabio?
But like actually, or like?
No, in real life, what StockMo's job is, I don't know. That's tough to call, man. He lied.
StockMo pounding that cat into oblivion. I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Is he still holding?
I don't know what to say.
Does he have I don't know, 500?
Oh, Chamath's a grifter. Chamath's an absolute grifter. I'll say that.
Chamath. I don't know Chamath.
Chamath
I'm so scared of Chamath. Oh my god.
No. Chamath's a...
I don't know him, so yeah.
The thing,
I'm not worried about Chamath.
No, Chamath is the only winner of all those SPACs that he was engaged in. He did Open Door, SoFi, a couple other ones. He was known as the SPAC King. That's what they gave him the name on CNBC. CNBC has, oh my gosh, like, did you guys by chance, if you don't have to watch my reaction to it, but have you seen and especially you, Chris, you should see it, the tax episodes that CNBC has done?
What are they?
Bro,
Oh, they get away with it, but like, well, say what you were
Bro.
gonna say.
as an accountant, you need to react to those tax videos on CNBC.
Yes. Oh my gosh. No, but they get away with it too because like they technically cover their bases, but they do so in a weird timing where like the beginning is like all rage bait and then like they correct their definitions somewhere in the second half so that technically they if you watch the whole video, they're, correct.
But like what tax subjects are they covering?
Like they basically go like the rich don't pay any taxes whatsoever, and like they don't give the viewer the nuances between avoidance and evasion. They just kind of lump it together, and then they only define the separation after the halfway point of the video. Then they tell you, oh, there's avoidance and evasion.
It takes a simple Google search to see that the rich pay the vast majority of the federal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, that you need to react to these because they're absolutely incredible. And they did one on corporations too. And then this guy who was an expert they brought on, it's, oh my gosh, it's incredible, was saying that that share dilution is not a real cost. And I was like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, check your earnings per share the next time you have massive dilution. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god.
Or think about it logically with $1. I have one share, right, and I get $1 in earnings from them. What happens now if there's 2 shares or 3 shares, 4, 5? Dude, the share dilution not affecting you as the shareholder. That guy should have got one of those old school vaudeville canes that came across the screen and just jacked him out of sight.
They had in one of them, I think it was in the it might have been the individual tax. They had a political science professor commenting on the tax code. And then and she was the only one that's really was cringe. She said only in the topics where she said that was focused on, political lobbying was she showing to have an understanding of how things work, because that's her field. But when she was going off on like the tax code, you could tell that she didn't know what the heck she was even saying. She was saying a bunch of falsehoods. So she was just talking. She was basically conflating evasion with avoidance. She was conflating the two. She was not making any form of distinction between the two and making it sound like they're one and the same. Then CNBC brought on another expert to then give you those definitions. So technically speaking, you can't claim that they were lying or giving false information in that video, because if you watch the full video, you get the full explanation.
Yeah, but all that stuff is to trick, stupid,
that's what I'm saying,
uneducated people into voting a certain way. That's the whole purpose of that.
Yeah, that is what that's usually what my point was when I reacted to those videos. It's like, Cole, your mic doesn't work. Cole, your mic doesn't work. You gotta fix your mic.
Cole, were you watching earlier?
How's that?
No,
It's great.
I see your mouth moving, but nothing's coming out.
When's the last time you brushed your teeth, Cole?
Yeah. There we go.
No, dude. Yeah, but back to what Chris said. That's why they do it. That's why they go, Elon Musk made, Jeff Bezos made X number of dollars and they didn't pay taxes.
Should we come clean? Cole, we were messing with you.
I don't. Well,
we talked about it earlier before you came on that we were going to mess with you if you came on. So
well, I believed you because this is my first time streaming from a laptop. So I just hastily plugged everything in. So I didn't think it was going to work.
So no joke, Echoes from Above was on here, and he literally had an echo with his mic.
Yeah, we've been, I guess it's more him than me, but yeah, he's been dealing with that for like 3 days.
I bet you it's some simple solution. Like he just has to turn off one freaking thing and that would solve it.
It could be he just needs to update his software.
Mm. Well, what were you saying, Jay Nagy, on the tax front, CNBC?
No, Chris was right. That's exactly why they do that. Because I've had to explain to people when they go, well, do you think it's right that a guy like Jeff Bezos can make X number of dollars and not pay taxes on it? And I go, but he didn't make any money. And they go, he made money on his stock. And I go, no, he didn't. He'd have to sell it. And so they don't understand that. Because it was just to the point of they say these things to exploit uneducated people.
So there was one part where I think it was in the individual tax one where they brought only one tax expert, right, for individual taxation. They brought, okay, wait, two. They brought, I think, a tax lawyer, and then they brought someone who I think had their own CPA practice, right, in New York. And then she did a wonderful explanation. Honestly, it should have just been the two tax experts, but no. And so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to react to these and just like provide the people with the good information and say like, oh, I'm a tax accountant. I work in taxes. So this is why you should
I'm a
listen
certified CPA.
You're a certified CPA. Yeah.
Certified.
Yeah.
Certified CPA accountant.
It's going to hit different. It's so cringe.
So no joke, I was actually talking to a recruiter and she called me a certified CPA.
There you go.
And I almost burst out laughing, but I was like, okay, all right, yeah.
So it sounded like nobody pointed out that Jeff Bezos' net worth comes from exploiting the labor value of his workers.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
good point. I have no argument against that.
Yeah, because if he's worth $200 billion, that means he stole $200 billion from his workers.
Yep.
The only way you build wealth is by stealing.
That's
the only
true.
way.
I've actually, strongman, check your pockets.
I don't have it. I'm naked right now.
Oh shit! Fuck. What did I reach my hand into?
That was a different kind of pocket, a different kind of purse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The back door.
Wait a minute.
You guys know the movie Bruno, where the scene where he goes to the ghost guy? No,
I've seen Bruno. I'm trying to.
What is Bruno?
Look it up on your fun time, and just remember me that I told you to watch that. And yeah, it's when he goes to like the psychic guy, and he's trying to speak to some dead guy. Obviously, like, you know, and it gets like very interesting very quickly. You won't regret it.
That was a good movie, Bruno. I liked when he went on that talk show with like the black baby, and then he had all the freaking like he called it like a gay bee or something like that. Everybody freaked out. That's a great movie.
Oh,
what are you saying?
Well, somebody compared me to John LaJoie, or so. I don't know how to say his last name, but he has a song.
So you say that?
Well, he has a song. He has a song where he goes, "Guns don't kill people. I kill people with guns."
What?
It's a very popular song. John LaJoie or something. I'm saying his last name wrong.
Bon Jovi.
Sure. Yeah, John Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
LaFufu kills people. Well, LaFufu probably causes some people.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if there wasn't someone who has off themselves. Coal my hole.
A lot of people are shitting on my webcam angle. I knew this was a bad idea.
Well, because we want it to be angled a little bit, you know. Like
yeah, so you can't see this. You know?
No. So it's so we
I want to see your man.
So you can see my cock.
I want to see.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
What is this Elon Tusk thing? Is this from South Park or something?
He was a voice actor on Rick and Morty, and he played Elon Tusk. Yeah.
Oh,
he was on South Park too, I think, right?
Yes, and he was on Big Bang Theory. I think he's been on so many shows.
So he gets that publicity, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cole, you buying any stocks? And then I'll.
No.
Any options, Cole?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So Fabio hasn't responded to any of my text messages. I asked for options help.
No, I've been busy, but I just got a WhatsApp message. Look at that. Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's from me. Yeah.
Text me on WhatsApp. This guy is replying to me. I think it's because I commented on. I think it was your channel, J Nagi, actually.
What? Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm getting it WhatsApp. But let me see. Yeah, you did text me. I'll actually get to your text tonight. I'll get to your text.
I mean, one of those is like just a cock pick, but the rest of them are stock related.
Okay, I'm scrolling past. Nice girth. Yeah.
So I did some for fun. Even though last week I said, yeah, guys, I'm never doing options again.
It opens.
You're
And
addicted.
then you get options again. Yeah.
You're gonna
I
lose
mean-
all of your money.
I made some plays on Exxon.
Yeah, this man goes. He makes an iron condor, one
Yeah.
credit spread, another iron condor, 2 iron condors.
Yeah, I'm a fan of those. Mostly because
How did that go,
it's a
Cole?
cool
Did you lose
name.
95% of your money again.
Well, look, so there's this option thing called an iron condor, and I was like, well, that's a cool name, so I should invest in it. So that was about the extent of.
Dude, the Iron Condor is the ticket to wealth. Nobody in the industry wants to talk about it.
I swear, if you could just make a channel just called like Iron Condors with Cole, and people would be like, well, I've got to click on that.
Oh, I'm 100% going to start creating these TikToks where it's just the reactions. Because I saw this one TikTok. It was like 5 things that rich keep secret from you. And it was quite literally like I'm exaggerating, but it was like save money, make more money, save more than you spend. I was like, secrets. Wow. Oh my god.
I love the TikToks that get like 1 million views, and it's like how to be poor, work a job and invest in a 401k like a loser.
Jay Nagy, take the hat
I
off.
I hate looking at my forehead when it's the lights
Jay
reflecting.
Nagy, take that hat off right now. TJ,
The reflection's not bad. You were exaggerating.
I hate that. It's
TJ, where's my super chat?
TJ.
Too late. All right. Oh, dude, I don't know if you were watching earlier, but this guy kept sending us $1.99.
Oh, no. It's the same thing. Cole was there when he did it
Oh,
on
yeah,
that channel.
yeah.
Gil.
Yeah, that guy really hates echoes for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
I wonder why.
There's one guy, Strongman, that does not like you. And he was commenting earlier. I think you saw him, right? He's from the Philippines. And I sent you a text message of image of all of you. Gil fights my battles for me. I'll just say that. That was so ruthless.
Why would anybody dislike me? I mean, I think I'm a nice guy.
He absolutely did not like your comments on dividends. Because that's
what I was watching right before this. I was watching the dividend video.
Yeah.
I don't get this obsession with dividend. Like I don't get it.
Look,
I mean, I do and I don't. I do.
Yeah.
Leave PPC Ian alone. He's wholesome. Okay.
I think that's an inside joke that's so inside only Fabio gets it.
Dude, when I saw that guy's face, I was like, I have to look into this guy's channel. And I'm still gonna do some research because this guy seems like a total freaking, mega doofus. I haven't seen him.
Dude, here's the thing, and I haven't looked that deep into him. He did pretty well with his stock picks. We talked about this last week, and what I said is,
1/5 of the way there.
Yeah.
You said $5, TJ.
99.
How about you have 4 diapers?
Well, I'll say this: people invest in dividend companies have never invested in companies pre-revenue, like Jeremy. So,
if you buy a company that's paying a dividend, you're probably better off than buying a Lufufu stock. That's true.
not probably.
yeah.
Not probably, yeah. For sure you are. No, it's he's a wholesome dude. He's a wholesome dude. PPC Ian. He's a wholesome.
I don't like wholesome people. I think they're fake.
The only thing negative I would say about him is it's the same thing I said earlier. I just don't get what you think you're accomplishing here. You're putting in a whole lot of effort to not really outperform the market. You like an investor impresses me. If you buy individual stocks and you just match the market, I'll look at you and go, you're a really good investor.
Mm-hmm.
But how much time did you have to put in to get that return? If you're not outperforming the market, it's kind of pointless what you just did.
Oh,
thank you.
He invested 401 because that's the name of the tax advantaged account.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Dan, for stepping up for TJ. It was freaking weak, TJ.
What were you saying, Fabio?
Well, no. Well, I was gonna say nothing about him, or I was gonna segue into Krispy Kreme, but yeah, no. PPC, and from what I see, he's done market average. I think we had this conversation about him before. That
Yeah,
he's,
we did last week.
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Okay, so
We both said, like, look, he's a good investor. He's getting market returns. I just don't know.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about this PPC guy still?
yes.
Yeah.
Is he really a good investor?
He's wholesome, Chris.
The last time I looked at his stuff, Chris, he was getting about the market average over the past year.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh.
I mean, Chris, you're receiving a lot of dividends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This
You
just
love
proves
them.
my argument wrong.
Yeah.
All these dividends are not doing stock buybacks. Come on.
Yeah.
Man, I make so much money from coal. Whew.
I've been grifted to the moon.
Cole, how much have you spent on me?
It has to be less than $100.
No.
You better bump that up.
No, I think it's more.
That's all I'm worth to you.
Well, I mean, I haven't bought your cup. I haven't bought your shirt. I haven't even bought your book.
Actually, Chris, apparently you had pants on. Elon
It's true.
Musk.
I noticed that immediately.
See, you need to work on your continuity, your story continuity.
Yeah.
I
You said you
lied.
were
I was
naked.
not, in fact, naked.
Oh, dang. But Krispy Kreme, guys. Anyone want to buy Krispy Kreme stock?
We used to have those in my city, and now we don't.
Oh my God! It's so...
Pickle.
2 euros is the going rate for a REUU.
Yeah.
I can't
Be a ripper, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hard life.
like REUU.
Oh my God.
No way! No way!
That is funny. That is funny.
That's gonna be a YouTube short, guys.
That was perfect timing. That was.
Do you know what happened? That dog
My dog is here, so.
Oh, we got another.
Man,
That's not even coming with a comment. It's
we're
just
drifting.
Boom.
Grifting.
See, all I have to do is just like start a live stream and just stare at the camera.
Take your shirt off.
Super chats.
Take your shirt off.
Sit there with your shirt off.
I think I want to make a fortune on ChatterBait.
Oh, 100%.
I've always, well, when I say always, I mean like for 3 years. I've thought about because my old YouTube channel before this, I was trying to be. Do you guys know like Cody Co and them? Like they just react to funny videos, give commentary. Anyway,
So he reacts to my videos.
exactly, yeah. So I wanted to start an OnlyFans where I just reacted to porn. I thought it'd be a funny idea.
Cole, I would pay you so much money to see that.
What the fuck?
Well, because they're funny pornos, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's funny.
You know,
Like,
Cole, you actually got me back into Pokemon. I started
Oh, I
playing
appreciate
Pokemon Silver now after
Oh,
watching
yeah.
your YouTube video.
It's one of my favorite ones.
It's a great game.
Yeah, and you should put like $200,000 into the trading cards.
I already did that, and
You already
didn't turn out too well.
Oh, well, that's because you bought physical cards instead of NFTs. So.
Oh, you're right, man. I wish I'd known about NFTs.
The Andre D school of investing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't.
Fabio.
I just do iron condors.
Iron Condors. I bought.
Julius.
Wow, Julius donated.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stream for like 10 hours tonight. I'm gonna collapse on my desk.
We'll just keep going. But yeah.
I
Anyone
won't
else?
end this very soon because my wife's gonna get mad at me.
Same with mine.
Wow, don't let your red pill
just,
channel know that.
Somebody else.
The Two Girls in a Cup is so like, back then.
Oh no.
I've managed to avoid seeing that ever.
I was trying to like spin that into a YouTube video title. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, how do I make
that'd be easy.
me and Jeremy become, two
guys, one stock.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that easy.
Yeah, dude, Mike Stathis, man, he is so jealous right now. I wonder how many $1,000 hour consultings he sold since he started his YouTube channel.
Wouldn't matter because we spent it on ladyboys.
Oh my god.
2 cold and 1 cold.
2 guys, 1 Buddha bowl.
There you go. Yeah.
You will probably see a video with that title on it.
That's
What's funny is what they were eating in the original video tasted better than a Buddha bowl.
Oh.
I've never actually had a Buddha bowl before. All
I'm gonna go buy one.
Shit.
Oh, here's Mike Stathis weighing in.
Like,
That shit is
you have no, like you are evil.
Who is BP?
He's
oh yeah. You gotta get reacquainted. What is that? Is that Five Guys?
It is Five Guys.
I can tell that burger. Okay, I can tell.
I mean, Fabio can recognize 5 guys at a moment's notice.
I can. What do we have right here? Actually,
Is it hard to identify 5
Oh,
men?
yeah, that's funny.
I guess nowadays it is.
Hey, Cole, do you have BurgerFi up there?
No. Stop saying up there.
It is up there. What else do I say?
Westward? I don't know.
You're up there. You're
Louisiana is the deep south.
I'm the deep south, boy.
You're like Cuban.
And I'm further south than Fabio.
No, I am the deep
technically
south.
is.
It's true. Alex is the deep south.
Yeah. All right, yeah, he's right.
The deep.
But what do I say about Louisiana? Like Louisiana is north of me to the northwest of me.
Say over there. That has no directional bias.
Do you have do you have BurgerFi over there?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Now I misheard you. Yes, we have one of those. I went once. It was okay.
It was okay.
Maybe I should go again.
Would you pay that? You would go again? Did you?
I said maybe I should go again. Are you recommending
Have the
it?
custard shake.
That sounds sexual. I don't know about that.
Have the wait. Have the custard shake.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like was this
I'm in.
Is
was
this
stream like
ASMR?
Yeah.
was this stream
slurp
like
on that custard
about
shake,
investing before I joined? Like, did I ruin it or was it?
Well,
already ruined?
someone asked if we're buying individual stocks, and we immediately returned to porn. But
Yeah.
so, in and out.
Well, no.
Okay, what was
In and out?
Well, no, because there's this one porno where it's called like Fake Realtor or something, and you think that so it's a girl pretending to be a realtor selling a house. You'd think it would last for like 2 minutes and then they'd have sex, but no, they spend like 10 minutes. They're like, yeah, you actually the bamboo flooring.
Why, Cole? All right, you guys have 1 minute, and I'm cutting the stream.
But see, they spend like 10 minutes talking about like, yeah, you can actually get a tax discount because the bamboo floors were installed in the house. I'm like, what? This is way too serious.
Tax discount?
Yeah, they're talking about taxes in the porno.
You want a tax discount, baby?
You're gonna get tax advice. But I'll answer that one question just because I feel bad because we just skipped. I bought GPN and LEG. That's what I bought.
I'm about to buy some more BTI.
VT Wax.
Whoa.
Facebook.
Alex,
I might buy more Facebook actually too.
Yeah, Fabio's like 60% of his portfolio in this payment processor or something.
Yeah, 60%. It's not an exaggeration.
69%.
He needs to get that up. He needs to get that up to about 133% of his portfolio.
Put up BP's last comment.
All right, guys, that's enough grifting for one night. I'm freaking tired. I can hear
No. BP told me to stop watching porn and replace it with weight training, making money, and meditation.
Thank you, BP. I'm sure you do all those things. I'm sure you do.
Carvana is trash. There you go. Happy.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
You guys can keep talking in the after hours, but I got to head out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the grift money. I'm going to go buy more VT wax with that.
Nice.
And y'all have a wonderful night. Cheers.
See you later.